The security footage showed my wife Elise bent over the conference table, while her boss Brandon thrust behind her, his wedding ring catching the fluorescent light. I paused the video, took a sip of my beer, and laughed bitterly. "Working late again, honey? My name is Aiden McKinnon, and I'm a freelance IT contractor in Portland, Maine. Nothing fancy. I fix networks, install security systems, and troubleshoot servers for small businesses." Elise always made it clear I wasn't ambitious enough for her tastes. She worked as operations manager at TechFlow Solutions, constantly talking about climbing the corporate ladder and networking with the right people. Apparently, she'd been networking horizontally with Brandon Kessler, the VP of technology. The irony was delicious. Last month, TechFlow hired me to upgrade their security cameras. Professional courtesy meant I installed a few extra feeds in places they didn't specifically request, like Elise's private office. I'd originally planned it as a surprise for our anniversary, thinking I might catch her working those legendary late nights she always complained about. Instead, I caught her working Brandon's legendary equipment. My phone buzzed. A text from Elise. "Another late night. Don't wait up. Love you." I screenshot the message and saved it next to the video file labeled Conference Room Confidential, Take 47. Yes, 47. They'd been busy little bees. The front door opened around midnight. Elise walked in wearing her exhausted professional face, the same expression she'd perfected for the past 6 months. "How was work, sweetheart?" I asked from the couch. "Brutal. Brandon had us reviewing quarterly projections until almost 11. She kicked off her heels with theatrical exhaustion. "I'm going to shower." "Funny thing," I said, not looking up from my laptop. I drove past TechFlow around 10:30. Parking lot was empty except for the security guard's car. Elise froze halfway up the stairs. We were in the downtown conference room. The Marriott. Brandon rented it for privacy. The Marriott. Right. I nodded thoughtfully. "Did you know they have excellent security cameras in those conference rooms? Very high definition. Amazing what technology can capture these days." Her face went pale, but she recovered quickly. "What are you implying, Aiden?" "Nothing at all. Just admiring modern surveillance systems. Sleep well, honey." She disappeared upstairs, and I heard the shower running for 20 minutes, washing off the evidence, no doubt. The next morning, Elise's sister Monica called. Monica had always been the golden child. Harvard MBA, 6-figure salary, married to a surgeon. She treated me like something stuck to her designer shoe. "Aiden, is Elise there?" Monica's voice carried its usual condescending tone. "She's at work. Climbing that corporate ladder. Well, when you see her, tell her David and I are hosting a dinner party Saturday. 7 o'clock. Try to dress appropriately this time. Define appropriately. Business casual. Not your usual contractor chic." She laughed at her own wit. "Oh, and Aiden? Maybe don't mention your little computer repair stories this time. Our guests are actual professionals." I smiled into the phone. "Don't worry, Monica. I've got some very interesting professional stories to share." Saturday arrived with typical Maine autumn crispness. Elise spent 2 hours getting ready, choosing an outfit that probably cost more than my monthly truck payment. We drove to Monica and David's McMansion in Falmouth, where their perfectly manicured lawn screamed suburban success. The dinner party was exactly what I expected. 8 couples discussing stock portfolios, vacation homes, and their children's private school achievements. I sat quietly, nursing my wine and watching Elise perform her successful career woman routine. "So, Aiden," said Richard, some hedge fund manager, "Elise tells us you work with computers?" "Security systems, actually. I specialize in surveillance technology." "How fascinating," Monica interjected with barely concealed sarcasm. "Like those cameras at convenience stores?" "More sophisticated than that. Corporate installations, mostly. You'd be amazed what people do when they think nobody's watching." Elise shot me a warning look, but I was just getting started. "Take my latest project at a tech company. The executives thought they needed security cameras for theft prevention. Turns out, they needed them for performance reviews. Amazing how productive people can be after hours. The table grew quiet. David cleared his throat. Performance reviews? Oh yes, very hands-on management style. The VP really gets involved with his staff. Personally involved, you might say. Elise's wine glass trembled in her hand. Aiden, maybe we should... The footage is incredibly detailed. High definition, multiple angles. Better than anything Hollywood produces. Monica frowned. I'm not sure I understand. Employee relations, Monica. The modern workplace is all about building intimate professional relationships. Trust exercises. Team building. Sometimes literally building teams, if you know what I mean. Richard's wife, Susan, leaned forward. Are you talking about workplace affairs? I couldn't possibly comment on ongoing investigations, but let's just say some people's careers are about to get very interesting. Elise stood abruptly. We should go. Early morning tomorrow. Sit down, honey. We haven't had dessert yet. I smiled at the table. Besides, I was just getting to the good part. See, the really fascinating thing about modern surveillance is the audio quality. Crystal clear. You can hear everything, the negotiations, the promises, the performance feedback. Aiden, stop. Elise's voice cracked. Monica looked between us, sensing drama. What's going on? Nothing at all. Just sharing some professional insights. Did you know that most corporate affairs involve expense account fraud? Hotel rooms, dinners, gifts, all charged to the company. The IRS finds that very interesting. David, ever the surgeon, cut straight to the point. Are you saying someone at Elise's company is having an affair? I pretended to consider the question. Well, since you asked directly, let's just say TechFlow Solutions is about to have some very public personnel changes. The table erupted in whispers. Elise grabbed her purse and headed for the door. I followed leisurely, waving goodbye to our hosts. In the car, she finally exploded. What the hell was that? Just making conversation. You're always telling me to socialize more with your family. You know exactly what you were doing. You're trying to humiliate me. Humiliate you? Why would I do that? I started the engine. Unless you've done something humiliating. She stared out the window, tears streaming down her face. For a moment, I almost felt sorry for her. Almost. Monday morning, I put my plan into motion. I'd spent the weekend preparing a presentation that would make PowerPoint weep with envy. Every video clip was edited, enhanced, and organized chronologically. The audio was cleaned up and subtitled for clarity. I even added a soundtrack. Elise always loved dramatic music. TechFlow was hosting their quarterly board meeting at the Portland Harbor Hotel. All the executives would be there, plus several potential investors. Brandon was scheduled to present the company's growth initiatives. I'd hacked into their presentation system over the weekend. Child's play, really. They were still using default passwords on half their equipment. At exactly 10:15 a.m., when Brandon clicked to his third slide about team collaboration, my footage would take over the projector. I positioned myself at a coffee shop across the street with a clear view of the hotel's conference room windows. At 10:14, I opened my laptop and activated the remote feed. The conference room was packed. Brandon stood confidently at the front, clicking through his slides about quarterly profits and strategic partnerships. Elise sat in the front row, taking notes like the dedicated professional she pretended to be. 10:15 arrived right on schedule. Brandon clicked his remote, and suddenly the wall-mounted screen filled with high-definition footage of him and Elise in their conference room encounter. The audio was perfectly synchronized. Every moan, every whispered endearment, every explicit instruction. The reaction was immediate and spectacular. Board members jumped to their feet. Someone screamed. Phones appeared, recording the chaos. Brandon frantically clicked his remote, but I'd locked him out of the system. Through the hotel windows, I watched Elise bolt from her chair and run toward the AV equipment. Too late. The footage had already switched to their hotel room encounter from last Tuesday. Even better angles, if I did say so myself. Security guards rushed in, but the damage was done. Half the room was recording the screen with their phones. The other half was recording Brandon and Elise's panic. My phone buzzed with notifications. The live stream I'd set up was already going viral. # TechFlow scandal was trending on Twitter. 20 minutes later, Elise and Brandon emerged from the hotel, escorted by security. She was crying hysterically. He was shouting into his phone, probably calling lawyers. I finished my coffee and drove home, whistling Elise's favorite song. She didn't come home that night, or the next. When she finally appeared Thursday evening, she looked like she'd aged 5 years. "We need to talk," she said. "About what? Your new career in adult entertainment?" "This isn't funny, Aiden. You've destroyed my life." "I didn't destroy anything. I just provided some transparency. Isn't that what modern corporations want?" She collapsed into a chair, sobbing. "I've been fired. Brandon's been fired. His wife is divorcing him. The story's in the Portland Press Herald. My mother won't even talk to me." "Consequences," I said, opening a beer. "Fascinating concept. Why? Why did you do this to me?" I sat across from her, studying her face. "Because you betrayed me. Because you lied to me for months. Because you made me feel like I wasn't good enough for you while you were screwing your boss on company time. It just happened. It didn't mean anything. 47 times, Elise. It happened 47 times. That's not a mistake. That's a relationship." Her eyes widened. "You've been watching us for months?" "Professional curiosity. I wanted to see how dedicated you were to your career advancement." She stood up, rage replacing despair. "You're sick. You're a psychopath. I'm thorough. It's what makes me good at my job." I pulled out my laptop and showed her a spreadsheet. Hotel receipts, restaurant charges, gifts, all on the company credit card. The IRS received an anonymous tip yesterday. So did TechFlow's insurance company. "You're trying to destroy me completely. I'm trying to give you the recognition you deserve. Your performance has been exceptional, very enthusiastic, great stamina. The internet seems to agree. You've got over 2 million views already." She grabbed a lamp and threw it at me. I ducked, laughing. "There's that passion. Too bad you never showed me that kind of energy." She ran upstairs and started packing. I let her go. 20 minutes later, she dragged 2 suitcases down the stairs. "I'm staying with my friend Jessica until I figure things out." "Good luck with that. Jessica saw the videos too. So did all your friends. Amazing how quickly social circles can shrink." She paused at the door. "This isn't over, Aiden." "Actually, it is. Your lawyer called today. You might want to check your messages. Turns out adultery affects divorce settlements in Maine, especially when it involves corporate fraud." The door slammed behind her. I opened another beer and checked my phone. The video had hit 5 million views. 3 weeks later, I was installing a security system at a law firm when my phone rang. Monica. "Aiden, we need to talk." "About what?" "About what you did to my sister." "I didn't do anything to your sister." "Your sister did things to herself. I just provided documentation." "She's living in her car, Aiden." "She can't find work anywhere. The video has ruined her reputation." "Actions have consequences, Monica. You taught me that at your dinner parties. This is cruel and unusual punishment for a mistake." 47 mistakes, I corrected. "And it's not punishment. It's justice." "She wants to meet with you, to apologize, to work something out." I considered this. "Fine. But I choose the location." Saturday afternoon, I waited at the abandoned Presumpscot paper mill. The old brick building had been closed for decades, its broken windows staring out over the river like dead eyes. Perfect atmosphere for our final conversation. Elise arrived in a rusted Honda Civic, looking nothing like the polished professional I'd married. Her designer clothes had been replaced with thrift store basics. Her perfect hair hung limp and unwashed. "Thank you for meeting me," she said quietly. "You look tired. How's the job search going?" You know exactly how it's going. The video comes up every time someone Googles my name. The internet is forever. Didn't they teach you that at business school? She sat on a concrete block, staring at the river. "What do you want, Aiden? Money? An apology? What will it take for you to leave me alone?" "Leave you alone? I haven't contacted you once since you moved out. You called me, remember? The videos, the social media posts, the anonymous tips to every company I've applied to. I feigned surprise. You think I'm sabotaging your job applications? That's paranoid, Elise. I know it's you. Prove it." She looked up at me with desperate eyes. "I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry I cheated. I'm sorry I lied. I'm sorry I hurt you. What else do you want me to say?" "Nothing. Your apology is about 6 months too late." "Then what? What will make this stop?" I walked to the edge of the loading dock, looking out over the water. "You want to know what I want, Elise? I want you to understand what you did to me. For 6 months I thought I was losing my mind. You made me feel inadequate, unwanted, invisible. You gaslit me every time I questioned your late nights. You made me doubt my own sanity. I never meant... You meant every bit of it. You enjoyed having your secret. You enjoyed feeling superior to your stupid contractor husband while you played executive with Brandon." She stood up, anger flashing in her eyes. "So you decided to destroy my entire life? My career, my reputation, my family relationships? I decided to tell the truth. Everything else was your choice." "The truth? You violated my privacy. You recorded me without consent. You humiliated me in front of hundreds of people. I documented your performance at work, very thorough performance reviews." She picked up a piece of broken concrete and threw it at me. It shattered against the brick wall behind my head. "There's that passion again," I said. "Too bad you wasted it on Brandon. You're enjoying this. You're actually enjoying watching me suffer. I'm enjoying watching justice happen. For the first time in our marriage, there are consequences for your actions." "Consequences? I've lost everything. My job, my friends, my family's respect. I'm living in my car." "And Brandon? How's he doing?" Her face crumpled. "He won't return my calls. His wife took half his assets. He's moving to Seattle. Abandoning ship. Smart man. He said it was my fault, that I seduced him, that I was the one who initiated everything." I laughed out loud. "And you believed him?" "I don't know what to believe anymore. Believe this, you made choices. Adult choices. Now you get to live with adult consequences." She sat back down, defeated. "What happens now?" "Now? Now you figure out how to rebuild your life, just like I had to figure out how to rebuild mine after discovering my wife was a cheating liar." "Will you ever forgive me?" I considered the question seriously. Forgiveness is for people who are sorry for what they did, not sorry they got caught. You're not sorry you cheated, Elise. You're sorry I found out. That's not true, isn't it? If I hadn't caught you, would you have stopped seeing Brandon? She was quiet for a long moment. "I don't know." There's your answer. The sun was setting over the river, casting long shadows across the abandoned mill. Elise looked small and broken sitting on the concrete block, nothing like the confident woman who'd condescended to me for 3 years of marriage. "I should go," she said finally. "Yes, you should." She walked toward her car, then turned back. "Aiden? The man I married wouldn't have done this. He was kind. He was forgiving." "You're right," I said. "That man died the day I watched you screw your boss on our anniversary. What you're looking at now is what you created." She got in her car and drove away without another word. I stood there until full darkness fell, listening to the river flow past the ruins of the old mill. Then I got in my truck and drove home to start my new life. The divorce was finalized 2 months later. Elise got nothing except her personal belongings and half the debt on her credit cards. The adultery clause in Maine divorce law is wonderfully specific about asset division when corporate fraud is involved. I kept the house, the business, and my self-respect. More importantly, I kept the videos, insurance in case she ever decided to cause trouble. Brandon moved to Seattle as planned. Last I heard, he was working tech support for a startup, quite a career change for a former VP. Elise eventually found work as a receptionist in Bangor, using her maiden name. The internet never forgets, but it does get distracted by newer scandals. As for me, business has never been better. Word spread about my attention to detail and thorough security installations. Half of Portland's executives have hired me to check their own systems for vulnerabilities. Trust, but verify. It's become my professional motto. 6 months after the divorce, I was installing cameras at a boutique law firm when the senior partner pulled me aside. "McKinnon, I have to ask. That TechFlow situation, that was you, wasn't it?" I kept my expression neutral. I couldn't possibly comment on ongoing investigations. He smiled and handed me his business card. "When you're ready to expand your business, call me. I represent several executives who could use your particular skills." I pocketed the card and finished installing his security system. Very thorough installation, multiple angles, crystal clear audio. After all, you never know what people might do when they think nobody's watching, nobody's watching, nobody's watching, nobody's